Before we start the class, please let us take the blessings of the beautiful deities of ISKCON Mangaluru, Sri Radha Govinda Ji. Sri Radha Govinda Ji ki Jai. So we are supposed to start 6.26 today, right? Yeah, 6.26. So in 6.26, what is Krishna saying? From wherever the mind wanders, due to its now Arjuna he asks, right? The mind it wanders and the difficulties. No, sorry, not here. So Krishna is explaining the process of Ashtanga Yoga. Okay, so how it happens from Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pratyahara, Pranayama, all that Dharana. So he's explaining one by one all the processes. So now Krishna is here talking about almost the final stages, right? From wherever the mind wanders due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring back under the control of the self. Okay, so in Shloka 6.26, Krishna is saying, Krishna is telling Arjuna, see, the mind will definitely wander. So that is its nature. It will jump and run here and there. So whenever the mind it runs away, gently we should catch it and we should bring it back and focus it on the super soul. See, here also, what do we do when we are chanting? The mind wanders, right? But when we know that the mind has wandered, consciously we bring it back to the hearing of the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. So, whenever, how many ever times it goes out, and the mind wanders, we try to bring it back and focus on hearing the mantra. So, like that, the same thing Krishna is telling Arjuna. So, when the mind wanders, like now the yogis they meditate on Paramatma, right? So, when the mind wanders, what is Krishna saying? Bring it back. The mind will definitely wander. It will try to run away. But gently, we should catch it and we should bring it back and focus on the super soul. That is Paramatma. So, do this again and again. So, we should not get angry with the mind. We should not give up. So, we should just bring it back gently. Okay, so that is what Krishna is saying. So 27, translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The yogi whose mind is fixed on me verily attains the highest perfection of transcendental happiness. He is beyond the mode of passion. He realizes his qualitative identity with the Supreme and he is freed from all reactions to past deeds. So now Krishna explains what happens when the mind becomes steady and fixed on Paramatma. Right? This is these almost the last stage, dhyana, and then last is sadhana. So now they have controlled all the senses, the mind is controlled, and nicely it is fixed on Paramatma. So what happens when the mind becomes steady and fixed on Paramatma or the super soul? So what does that yogi get? He gets a peaceful mind. So the yogi's mind becomes calm, it is settled, and he has no more material desires, just fixed on Paramatma. Okay? And next, what happens? He gets the highest happiness. Okay, when his mind is steady and is focused on Paramatma, first is like he gets a peaceful mind. Second, he gets highest happiness. Okay, so this happiness is not from material pleasure. Okay, it's not dependent on people or situations from outside, but it is from inside the heart, coming from the soul's connection with Paramatma. So it is inner happiness, not connected with the external happiness, nothing to do with the outside objects at all. Okay, so it is inner happiness that is coming from the soul's connection with Paramatma. Next, the third point, what is Krishna saying? Passion is quiet. Like there is no passion. So, what does passion generally mean? We have endless wants, you have so many desires we have. We are restless, we are anxiety, full of stress. So, but when the mind is fixed on Paramatma, passion naturally cools down. So you're no longer in the mode of passion. So mode of passion, when your mind is fixed on Paramatma, passion, it naturally cools down. Okay. Next, fourth point, what happens is you become spiritually realized. Okay, he realizes that I'm not this body and he understands its spiritual nature. Okay, and last, fifth point is he becomes free from sinful reactions. See, because now the yogi is meditating on Paramatma, his past sinful reactions are destroyed and the heart now becomes clean. Okay, so what are they trying to say in the shloka? When you fix your mind on Paramatma, what happens? Peace, you get peace and you get the highest happiness, that is from the soul connecting with the Paramatma, and passion and contamination disappear and one lives as a liberated soul. I mean, all your sinful reactions are gone. Now you become realized, you understand that you're the soul. Okay, you're free from sinful reactions. So you're peaceful, right? Even when you're staying in this material world. So 28. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thus, the self-controlled yogi, constantly engaged in yoga practice, becomes free from all material contamination and achieves the highest stage of perfect happiness in transcendental loving service to the Lord. Okay, so now they're describing the advanced this what you say, the advanced Ashtanga yogi stage, who attains constant Paramatma realization and the highest inner spiritual happiness through steady meditations. So they're trying to show that the advanced Ashtanga yogi, when he is in constant meditation on Paramatma, so he attains the highest inner spiritual happiness by that constant steady meditation. Okay, so that is the highest stage. That is what they're looking for, that inner happiness, inner transcendental happiness that is permanent. It is ever increasing. Not like material happiness, it does not have a start and an end date. Okay, so 29. Sarvabhutastam Atmanam Sarvabhutani Chatmani Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma Sarvatra Samadarshanaha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A true yogi observes me in all beings and also sees every being in me. Indeed, the self realized person sees me, the same Supreme Lord, everywhere. See, now what are they? Krishna is saying a yogi sees everyone equally. He understands. What does he understand? See, outwardly the bodies are different because of their karma, but souls, all the souls are same in quality. Paramatma is equally present in all. So he no longer judges the living at the what you say, the people he sees by caste, body, wealth, or their beliefs. So externally he does not discriminate by their caste, body, or wealth or beliefs. So because he understands that all of us are souls and they're same in quality, and everybody, each living and each body contains Paramatma. So Paramatma is equally present in all. Okay, so that's why a yogi sees everyone equally. Okay. 6.30 Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mayi pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. So this is a beautiful verse which explains how the yogi, from practice of yoga, from the practice stage of yoga, he turns to perfection of yoga. Means he reaches the ultimate. So when he reaches the ultimate, how does he see everything? So that is what they are trying. Krishna is trying to explain. One who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me. Okay, so sees me everywhere means the Paramatma is present in all beings. So that is what sees me everywhere. Because in everything, every living entity, non-living entity, Paramatma is present. So he sees in each item, he sees Paramatma is present. So that means sees me everywhere. So Paramatma is present in all beings, everywhere he is present. Next, sees everything in me means all the beings, all the energies resting in the Paramatma or the Super Soul. So we all are. Where are we? We are in the. We are created by the energy of the Lord. So because of the energies, what do you say? All beings and all energies come from Paramatma or the Super Soul, right? So we are all dependent on Krishna, right? We are never independent of Krishna. Not even a blade of grass moves without the permission of Krishna. Okay, so all beings and all energies are resting on Paramatma or the Super Soul. So what is he saying? I am never lost to him. So I am never lost to him means we should not think that yogi, he always gets the physical, I mean direct vision of Paramatma all the time. So I am never lost to him means not that the Paramatma form is directly present in front of the devotee always, or he's seeing hallucinations of Paramatma everywhere. So what it means is the yogi's consciousness is always on Paramatma. Okay, he never gets forgets Paramatma or the Lord because he sees Paramatma through the living entity. In each of the living entity or whatever object he sees, wherever he sees Paramatma in that living being or that object. So that is how he visualizes. He sees Paramatma, not that he is physically seeing Paramatma with the four-handed form. Okay, so that we should understand. So he is trying to see in everything in the material world, whatever is there, in everything Paramatma is there. He understands, and through all of them, even in the tree or stone or living entity or insect or whatever be it, he is able to see Paramatma. So the yogi's consciousness is always on Paramatma by seeing everything that is present in the material world. So he never forgets Paramatma even for a second. And next, what is Krishna saying? Nor is he lost to me. Okay, and the Lord, it's not that the Lord is physically visible at all times to the yogi, or the yogi forces the Lord to stay, or what do you say? The Lord is trapped by the yogi's meditation. Okay, you cannot force the Lord, right? And so Lord is always independent. What does this mean when nor is he lost to me? Means Krishna is saying the yogi experiences Paramatma by his guidance, by his witness, by his inner companion. As a companion, he witnesses the super soul, the presence of the super soul. See, super soul is present in every living entity. He's always guiding us. Like whatever desire, he sees what we are doing. He's like a witness. Whatever activities we are doing, he witnesses. He guides us. Sometimes, we get an inner voice where we say, no, 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 don't do this. This is wrong. Like he instructs, the super soul instructs the thief also. No, don't commit this. This is wrong. You will get caught and you'll be put in jail. Okay, there'll be an inner voice which says, don't do. But we don't listen to that guidance given by the super soul, right? So the super soul is always there. He is guiding us. He is there as a witness to our activities. He is there as that inner companion, inner friend to us. Okay, so like that, he guides the yogi. He is like a witness to that yogi and he's like an inner companion. So that way, Krishna is saying, he is never lost to me. Okay, so next 32, sorry, 31. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Such a yogi who engages in the worshipful service of the super soul, knowing that I and the super soul are one, remains always in me in all circumstances. So now here worship does not mean, you should not think worship means it is like external worship, ritual worship or puja. So worship here means on the super soul, it means you are attentively remembering the super soul, means deep absorption. Okay, so surrender to Paramatma. Okay, respect and surrender to Paramatma. That is the worship. So meditation itself becomes worship. Okay, so worship here means don't think it is like doing puja or offering flowers like that. So for Ashtanga yogi, meditation itself becomes worship. Okay, so that's what we should understand. So an advanced yogi, he worships, or we can say meditates on Paramatma within all beings through constant meditation, and therefore he always remains connected to the supreme even while living in this world. So we saw in the previous sloka also, right? Like he sees throughout this material world, though he is in this material world, he sees in every living entity, every stone, every tree, wherever, whatever he sees, he understands that in that object or in that living being, Krishna is present as Paramatma. So that is how he connects with everybody. Okay. So that's how he connects. He is always connected to Paramatma, because in whom wherever he sees in that object or living being Paramatma. So he is always connected to Paramatma through these through the living beings or objects that he sees when staying in this material world. That's why he remembers him constantly. Okay, 33. Section that is necessity of controlling the turbulent mind. And in yoga, already always many times we discussed, right? The if the mind is disturbed, we cannot do any spiritual practice. The mind needs to be steady and controlled. Then only we can practice, enter spirituality. So now in this section, we'll see the necessity of controlling the turbulent mind. Okay, how we can control that uncontrolled, disturbed mind. Oh, I'm sorry. I think 32 shloka I forgot. Okay, sorry. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. He is a perfect yogi who, by comparison to his own self, sees the true equality of all beings in both their happiness and their distress. O Arjuna. Okay, so a perfect Ashtanga yogi feels others' happiness and distress as his own. Because why? Because he sees all living beings as equal souls, right? Not as bodies. So that's why he feels their happiness and their distress as his own. Because he sees everyone on the platform of souls and not on the bodily platform. Okay. Now let's go to 33. योऽयं योगस्त्वया प्रोक्तः साम्येन मधुसूदन एतस्याहं न पश्यामि चञ्चलत्वात् स्थितिं स्थिराम्. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Arjuna said, O Madhusudana, the system of yoga which you have summarized appears impractical and unendurable to me, for the mind is restless and steady. So now Arjuna is saying, see, the mind does not sit quietly. Obviously, we all know it jumps, it pulls, it argues, it remembers, it desires. Right? So this means that the mind is restless, it is flickering, it is unsteady by by nature. Okay, so this is the stage of our mind. It's never steady, it is always jumping here and there. It is restless, it is flickering, it is unsteady by nature. So we can understand who is telling this. Arjuna is telling. So Arjuna is not a weak person, he's a powerful warrior. Okay, he's a disciplined person, he's intelligent. But such a person as Arjuna himself, he's saying it is difficult to control the mind, the disturbed mind. Then what about people like us? And especially we are people in the Kali Yuga. What about people in Kali Yuga? Very difficult, right? Arjuna was so talented, so intelligent, so disciplined, powerful warrior. That too in Dwapara Yuga. He is saying that I cannot control the turbulent mind. Then how can we people in Kali Yuga? Okay, so Arjuna is saying the yoga, whatever Krishna, whatever yoga you described is perfect. Very nicely you said. But my mind is too restless to practice it. Right? The mind needs to be steady, but my mind is too restless. It is disturbed, but it is difficult for me to practice. It doesn't seem practical for me. Okay? So he's asking that question to Krishna. So next, further he's expressing his question. 6.34 Chanchalam hi manah Krishna pramati balavadridam tasyaham nigraham manye vayor iva sudashkaram. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. What else Arjuna is telling Krishna? For the mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong. Oh Krishna. And to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the wind. So now Arjuna, he does he in the earlier shloka he said the mind is restless. Now he's saying in the shloka the mind is not only restless but it is chanchalam. Chanchalam means it is flickering. So it does not stay in one place even for a moment. And next, what is he saying? Pramati means disturbing. So it brings anxiety, fears, a lot of desires. And next, what is he saying? Balavat. Balavat means powerful. See, generally, intelligence knows what is right, but the mind has become so powerful that it overrules intelligence. Right? See, the intelligence generally tells that guides the mind, right? But now the mind becomes so powerful that it overrules intelligence. Okay, so Drudam, it becomes so powerful, mind becomes so powerful than the intelligence. Next, Drudam means obstinate. So even after deciding, sometimes we decide, right? The mind decides, okay, I will not think about this, but still it returns back again. Okay, so Dridam obstinate means sometimes the mind thinks, okay, I will not do this, but after some time the mind again reverts, right? It returns again. So normally, like now Arjuna is comparing to, like he's saying that, see, it is normally it is difficult for us to control the wind for any ordinary person, but Arjuna is saying it may be easy for me to control the wind. See, we can't catch the wind, or we can't control the force of the wind. But Arjuna is saying maybe it is possible for me to control even the wind, which is highly impossible. But he's saying maybe I can do that. But to control the mind, a restless mind, is very difficult for me. I feel it is not possible at all. Okay, so we can understand that Arjuna is not a lazy person, he's not ignorant, or he's not undisciplined. But that Arjuna is saying, I cannot subdue the restless mind. So, what does this mean? See, the problem is not in the person then. See, Arjuna is, in all respect, is a very perfect person, right? So, it means that the problem is not in the person, the problem is in the method. Okay, so Prabhupada in the purport he explains that mind generally is supposed to obey intelligence, right? Intelligence guides the mind, right? Okay, but actually, what is happening in our daily life? Most of the time, the mind takes over the intelligence. Right? We give in easily. When the mind says go to the restaurant, we easily say, yeah, let us go to the restaurant just this one time, or let's go to the party just this one time. So we give in to the mind. Okay, so for example, intelligence tells today is Ekadasi, you're not supposed to eat grains. Now the mind will say, see, one Ekadasi, if you skip, what will happen? So many Ekadasi you've done. One Ekadasi, if you don't do, what will happen? Krishna will also understand. The mind will give excuses and the mind will give in. Okay, it will take over the intelligence, and that day you will want to Ekadasi. So that is what is our daily this thing. The mind takes over the intelligence. So that is why Prabhupada he gives the solution. What is the solution Prabhupada is giving? Fix the mind on Krishna. Okay, why this works? Prabhupada is saying, see, the mind, it cannot be stopped. Okay, it is always jumping, it cannot be stopped, but it can be absorbed in devotional service. See, because the mind is always jumping here and there, it is never calm. So, what we have to do, we have to engage it in devotional service. Okay, so the senses are naturally engaged in serving Krishna. So, if the mind gets a higher taste, it naturally becomes steady. It will not jump and say that I want that, I want that, I want that, because it already got that higher taste. So, it will naturally settle down. Okay, so once it starts doing devotional service, each of the senses is engaged in a particular devotional service to Krishna. So, and by doing that, it gets a higher taste and it doesn't crave for the lower taste. Okay, so when it gets that higher taste, it naturally stabilizes. It does not become disturbed. It settles down, it calms. Okay, so the mind, it cannot be controlled by force, right? We can't say that no, don't do this, no, don't eat that, like that. No, we can't control it by force, but by devotional service we can, because naturally and positively we are engaging each of the senses. We are giving it some work, positive work, in devotional service to Krishna. Okay, so like that the mind can be controlled, they are saying. Prabhupada says in the purport. So 35. असंशयं महाबाहो मनो दुर्निग्रहं चलम् अभ्यासेन तु कौन्तेय वैराग्येण च गृह्यते. Now Krishna is giving the solution to the questions asked by Arjuna. So Arjuna is saying the mind is very restless, very difficult to do this Ashtanga yoga. It is all based on the mind controlling. You have to first control your mind, so that you have to keep the mind steady, then only it can focus on Paramatma. But for me to control the mind, the restless mind is very difficult. So how should I how is it practical, how can I do it? So for that Krishna is giving the solution in this answer, I mean in this shloka. What is Krishna saying? Yes, the mind is restless and it is difficult to control, there is no doubt about this, but it can be brought under control by two things. And what is that? First one is abhyasa. So abhyasa means regular practice. And second is vairagya. Vairagya means detachment. See, abhyasa means practice. So repeatedly bringing the mind back to focus. Right? You now Ashtanga yogis focus is Paramatma. So the mind should come back and focus to Paramatma in the heart. Right? So again, as the mind wanders, bring it back to Paramatma. Not once or twice, but again and again, patiently do it. Keep doing it. Practice. That is what is abhyasa. It will keep on going. The mind will keep on going. You bring it back. It will go. Bring it back patiently. Just keep on bringing it back. Okay, so regularly doing like that, the mind will now understand. Okay, right? And second point, what is Krishna saying? Vairagya, detachment. reducing attraction to distractions. So when the pull of sense enjoyment becomes weaker, he's saying Vairagya, develop detachment to sense gratification. Okay, so when you slowly try to get detached from sense enjoyment, what happens? The mind, what do you say? Uh, when you reduce the sense enjoyment, the mind settles more easily. See, because of these material desires, we get more attached to the material world. Like that's why we are not able to get vairagya. Slowly, I mean, by practice and vairagya means slowly we have to reduce our sense gratification. So then the mind settles I mean, so slowly it settles. Okay, so Krishna is telling definitely it is difficult. I'm not saying no, but it is possible. But how? By abhyasa, practice, and then vairagya. So these two, if you do, you're definitely, I mean, like it is very difficult even then, but still it is possible to control the mind. 36. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Trying to practice yoga by engaging the mind in material enjoyment is like trying to ignite a fire while pouring water on it. Similarly, yoga practice without mental control is a waste of time. See, you can't do yoga without controlling your mind. Okay, a restless mind, with a restless mind is very difficult to focus on spirituality. So that's what they're trying to say here. See, if the mind runs wherever it likes, and if it keeps running after material sense gratification or other things like fear, habits, impulses, self realization or spirituality becomes difficult. So that is what Krishna is saying. See, in any yoga that you take, I mean, be it in Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, you have to have a steady mind. Your mind should not be disturbed. If it is disturbed, it is not suitable for spirituality. Okay, so here the same thing they are telling. If the mind is disturbed or turbulent, it is uncontrolled. We cannot get self realization. We cannot practice spirituality. Okay. Now 6.37. Okay. The destination. Now Arjuna asked some very nice questions. Like, what is the destination? See, now, for instance, he's asking about the Ashtanga Yogi because he understood that the process is very difficult. So, what happens if an Ashtanga Yogi is not able to complete his journey and become an advanced Ashtanga Yogi? If by some chance he falls in the middle, what is his destination? Like he'll be nowhere, right? He's not able to enjoy material life, or he's not able to finish his successfully his spiritual life. So both ways he's doomed. Like, what is his position now? Arjuna is like kind of worried. What is that? He is not able to. He was not able to enjoy his material life, and at the same time, he is not successful as a Ashtanga yogi. Spiritually, also he failed. Materially, also he could not enjoy. Now, what is his concern? Arjuna is a devotee, right? He's very compassionate. That's why he's worried about that yogi. Like once initially we may take to spirituality, but maybe in the middle because of some disturbances we are not able to complete. What will happen to such an Ashtanga yogi is what he's asking. So let's see what Arjuna's questions are and what Krishna answers to that. Okay, 6.37. I don't think it is clear.
Mataji,
Yes, Prabhuji.
Mataji, I think the answer was given in 6.37, 38, 39.
No, actually, there is only 37, I think, Prabhuji, because 38, 39 are given in the next slide, Prabhuji. That's what I just wanted to see here. I'm just trying to confirm. That is different, actually. There, see, here Arjuna, see, he asked the question. So that question is not given. Oh, Krishna, what is the destination? See, this is not given. 37 is not given here at all. Okay, so we'll read it from Veda base.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So Arjuna said, O Krishna, what is the destination of the unsuccessful transcendentalist who in the beginning takes to the process of self-realization with faith, but who later desists due to worldly mindedness? So he's saying maybe, yeah, first they take up enthusiastically to become Ashtanga yogi. But later, because of some problem, whatever be it, mind wandering or some worldly problems, whatever it is, he's not able to continue his Ashtanga yogi journey. He could not complete, and thus he could not attain perfection in mysticism. So next he continues still. Okay, so this is what 37, right? So why Arjuna? Why is this question so important? Is because actually many sincere people experience this. Those are sometimes very serious spirituality. They start well and they struggle initially, and but in the middle or somewhere in their onward journey, they are not able to complete their spiritual journey. So Arjuna, he wants to know whether there is any hope for such a soul. So Arjuna here is afraid of he's Arjuna is afraid that, see, that person now, he lost his material life. He could not enjoy his material life, and he lost spiritual success. So what is the destination of such a person? Okay, so that's why Arjuna is asking, out of compassion, he is asking this question. Okay, so 38 we'll see. Okay, translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. O mighty armed Krishna, does not such a man who is bewildered from the path of transcendence fall away both spiritual and from both the spiritual and material success and perish like a driven cloud with no position in any sphere? So Arjuna, he's trying to like he's fearful now, Arjuna, because he's a devotee, right? He's concerned about that yogi, right? So he's fearing that that is sincere but unsuccessful Ashtanga yogi, he may lose both his material life as well as spiritual success, definitely, right? And he will have no shelter. That's what Arjuna is thinking. Like if he stops his journey in the middle, he's thinking that he will be nowhere now. Just like how a cloud, it breaks breaks from the whole big cloud, it breaks, and when there is wind, there is no chance for it to again go and stick into that cloud. So now because of that wind, that small piece separated cloud, because of the wind, it goes somewhere else, it gets separated, right? So like that, Arjuna is wondering that Ashtanga yoga, like that driven cloud driven by the wind, does he also get lost? Is there any hope for him? Okay, so that's what Arjuna is asking. Is there any hope for that Ashtanga yogi who, like a lost cloud blown away by the wind, away from the main cloud? Is there like any hope for him, or he also just goes away like that cloud blown away by the wind? Is he also lost and there is no hope for him? He's asking. Okay, 39 we'll see. The translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This is my doubt, O Krishna, and I ask you to dispel it completely. But for you, no one is to be found who can destroy this doubt. So Krishna, Arjuna is saying, say no, you please clear this doubt, and you are the only person who can clear my doubt. Now please clear this doubt of mine immediately. So who else is the best authority to clear this doubt? Krishna himself, right? He is the Param Guru. So Arjuna is saying, you are the only one, you are the complete shelter for me. Except you, I don't know who can clear this doubt. So please, you clear this doubt. 39 we finished, right? Yeah. So now we are in 40. Padanaiveha namutra विनाशस्तस्य विद्यते न हि कल्याणकृत् कश्चित् दुर्गतिं तथा गच्छति. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Son of Pritha, a transcendentalist engaged. See, now Krishna is giving the answers, okay, to Arjuna's questions. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Son of Pritha, a transcendentalist engaged in auspicious activities, does not meet with destruction, either in this world or in the spiritual world. One who does good, my friend, is never overcome by evil. So Krishna, now he's telling Arjuna, in fact, he's assuring Arjuna that a sincere yogi who is striving for self-realization, he is never destroyed. He never loses the benefit of whatever sincere effort that is given, either in this life or in the next life. Okay, so nothing is destroyed, Krishna is telling. Whatever sincere effort that is given will never be lost in this life or in the next life. And Krishna further continues, he tells, see, okay, 41 shlokas are not clear. I'll go back to okay. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The unsuccessful yogi, after many, many years of enjoyment on the planets of the pious living entities, is born in a family of righteous people or into a family of rich aristocracy. So, what now Krishna is telling what happens to an Ashtanga yogi who lives in between. Okay, so what happens that yogi, because he has done sincere Ashtanga yoga practice, right, for some years or some how many ever years, right? So all that becomes like a pious credit for him. So because he has accumulated pious credit, he is made to enjoy, go to the higher planets, heavenly planets, where he enjoys for a long time. And after enjoying there for a long time, he is made to be born in a family of righteous people, in the sense like a Brahmana family, okay? Or he's made to be born in a rich family so that he can continue his bhakti again. So there is no loss, Krishna is saying. So such an unsuccessful yogi, he goes to the higher heavenly planets and there he enjoys for a long time. And after that is over, he is born into a family in he's born in a Brahman family or in a rich family, so that he can continue his bhakti smoothly. See, if he's born in a rich family, he does not have to waste his time in earning for money, because he already is born in a rich family, so he can dedicate his time for doing bhakti. Okay, and if he's born in a Brahmin family, they are already right from birth, they are dedicated to bhakti, right? So he can right from the time he's a child, he can develop all those spiritual things, right? So So that is why so that he can continue his devotional practices. After that, he is made to be born in a Brahmin family or a rich family. Okay. So nothing is lost. That's what Krishna is saying. 42. So translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Or if unsuccessful, after a long practice of yoga, he takes his birth in a family of transcendentalists who are surely great in wisdom. Certainly, such a birth is rare in this world. So, second condition, now he is talking about an advanced yogi. Right, earlier shloka he was talking about a yogi who finishes in between. But if the yogi, Ashtanga yogi, is an advanced senior Ashtanga yogi, wherein he completed 90% of his Ashtanga yoga, right? Only 10% is left, and some reason he's not able to complete. So, such a person, he takes birth in a family of transcendence directly in a yogic family. Okay. Okay, so he will be born directly in a family of advanced yogis where spiritual life begins from childhood. So, right from childhood, he's born in a family, yogic family, where right from childhood, he is made to practice all of these. Okay, and they're saying such a birth is very rare. So, being born in a spiritual family is very rare, and that is the best kind of birth, Krishna says. See, that's why we see in ISKCON many devotee children are born to devotee parents. So, we should not think the devotee children are in any way less. Okay, so actually, these devotees children who are born as devotees, they have almost completed their bhakti. But because of some reason, 90% they finished in their previous birth, and 10% to complete that remaining, because they could not complete, they are made to born in parents who are hardcore devotees, so that they can complete their bhakti in this janma and go back to now. Okay, so that is what we have to understand. So that is why being born in a family of devotees is very rare. If you are born in into a family of devotees, that means you are going back to Godhead is guaranteed. Okay. So the same for Ashtanga yogis. They will be born in that yogic family where from childhood itself they'll be given the training of practicing Ashtanga yogi so that they can finish whatever 10% they didn't finish, right? They can finish that, and they can meditate on Paramatma, and they try to get that inner spiritual happiness. 43. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. On taking such a birth, he revives the divine consciousness of his previous life, and he again tries to make further progress in order to achieve complete success, O son of Kuru. Okay, so what are they saying? What is Krishna saying here? It does not see what in your spiritual journey. For instance, if you have done 50% bhakti in this life, and next janma you take birth, in human birth, wherever, in a Brahmin family or in a rich family or in a devotee family, wherever, you will continue from 51, because in the last janma you completed your spiritual journey 50%. So you will start your journey in the next birth from 51%. Okay, so that is the advantage. That is the advantage of doing spirituality. But see, on the other hand, materially, see, if you are like in material thing, in this life, you have achieved the master's or a PhD, and then you have a highly paid job. But you can't expect the same in the next Janma. You can't expect that, oh, in my last birth, I did a PhD and I got a high salary. And you can't say that I want the same thing. No. Material life, everything is lost. It becomes zero. You have to start from day one. Again, you have to start your nursery, your LKG, your UKG, first to 10th, your 11th and 12th, and then your degree. and then your master's, your PhD, then your job, everything you have to earn. But spirituality is not like that. If you finish 50% in this Janma, in the next Janma, it starts from 51%. Nothing is lost. So now you people decide, right? Now we all have to decide what we will do more, material work or spiritual work, right? And by doing spiritual work, we are at least guaranteed a human birth, because other non-devotees, they don't know what birth they will get, but at least we are guaranteed that we'll get a human birth for sure by doing practicing spirituality, right? But why human birth? So that we can continue our bhakti, our devotional service, right? So that's why we'll get a human form wherein we can continue bhakti. 44. Oh, I think let's check there if you can see. Yeah, 44. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. By virtue of the divine consciousness of his previous life, he automatically becomes attracted to the yogic principles. Hare Krishna, can all the devotees please be on mute? Yeah, thank you. Okay. By the virtue of divine consciousness of his previous life, he automatically becomes attracted to the yogic principles, even without seeking them. Such an inquisitive transcendentalist stands always above the ritualistic principles of the scriptures. See, that is why you can see in the PPT, right? Small children sometimes they just get attracted to the harmonium, or they are very easily learn the harmonium, or they play the mridanga very fast. It's because of their previous sanskaras. Earlier, maybe he was playing harmonium, and that's why even when small, they do kirtan, they do play harmonium, they play guitar, right? They progress very fast in spirituality. So we are not able to understand. The reason is this, because in the previous life they were hardcore devotees. So 90% they finished their spirituality. So, but because of some reason they were not able to complete that rest of the 10%. That is why in the next Janma they whatever they do spiritually they grasp fast, because they've already done it in the previous Janma. Okay, so that's why in the PPT we can see, right, all the small children very easily. In fact, they're enjoying. You can see it is not like they're crying or they're cribbing and they are trying to learn it. They're joyfully they're doing it. They're practicing, right? Sankirtan. Okay, 45. And when the yogis engage himself with sincere endeavor in making further progress, being washed of all contaminations, then ultimately achieving perfection after many, many births of practice, he attains the supreme goal. So, a yogi who sincerely keeps practicing becomes purified over time. So he perfects himself across many lives. See, Ashtanga Yogi, after yoga, birth after birth, he takes many births. Like he needs to get purified, right? So he keeps on practicing. He becomes purified over time, like by taking many, many births. And finally, he reaches the highest goal. Okay, he meditates on Paramatma and he gets purified and he gets that inner happiness. That is what he wanted, right? Okay, he gets that. Six dot 46, 47. So,
Mataji,
yes, Prabhuji.
Mataji, the display screen is too big. For some reason, we can't read it.
Now, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, it's a little big.
No, it's
I
perfect.
tried it.
Yeah, I've like, see, that's the, like size of the PPT. I can't reduce it more. Yeah, I can't, Prabhuji. That is what is the slide actually. Okay, sorry.
Yes.
So 6.46 is not given. Yeah, it's given here, 46. So translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. And of all the yogis, the one with great faith. Oh, this is like 47. I think. Yeah. A yogi is greater than the ascetic, greater than the empiricist, and greater than the fruitative worker. Therefore, O Arjuna, in all circumstances, be a yogi. So now Krishna is telling, out of all the three that he mentions, ascetic, one is gnani, and a fruitative worker. Ashtanga yogi is the highest. So that's why Krishna is saying, Arjuna, so you try to be a Ashtanga yogi. So above all the three that Krishna mentions, he's saying yogi is the greatest. Why? Why is he saying yogi is greatest? That we'll see. Okay, so the yogi is greater than the ascetic. So who is an ascetic? Ascetic means what? He's a tapasvi. So tapasvi is like who? What does a tapasvi do? He eats less. He's very strict, and he sleeps less. He just sits like that, and he tries to control the body, like austerity of control. I mean, like he does tapasya for the sake of controlling and purifying the body, right? So that is the tapasya he does to purify and control the body. But what does a yogi do? He like a tapasvi, he also sits. But what is he doing? He at the same time he is focusing on Paramatma. He is also thinking about God. So while a ascetic or a tapasvi, he is just focused on the external body. But the tapasvi, but the yogi, Ashtanga yogi, he is connecting the mind to Paramatma. Internally, he is trying to connect. Right? So that is very important. So when you're connecting internally, it means you're getting connected spiritually. Externally, body is like material. Okay, so that way, Ashtanga yogi is greater than the ascetic or a tapasvi. So next, Krishna, he talks about Gnani. Gnani also, he is theoretical. He just knows the knowledge that you are soul. Okay, Krishna, please mute. Please mute yourself. Yeah, yeah, thank you. So Gnani has theoretical knowledge that he's a soul. So he just has that theoretical knowledge. But a yogi implements that knowledge, right? He connects himself with Paramatma and he starts his meditation on Paramatma, right? So, but a Gnani, he just theoretically he knows he has the knowledge that he's soul and everything, right? He has that knowledge through the Vedas and the Upanishads. But yogi, Ashtanga yogi, he implements it. He meditates and he connects himself to meditates on the Paramatma, right? So he's focusing again on the inner self, right? So that is the second. That's why a yogi is greater than a gnani. So next third point, Krishna is telling about the fruitative worker, karma kandi. What does a karma kandi do? He works, he does his duty, and he wants the results. So he's bound. He's bound in this material world itself. Okay, so he's like way too materially attached. So, but Ashtanga Yogi, he's focusing himself on Paramatma. So he's more spiritually connected. So all the other three, if we see, are materialistic, mostly materialistic. Okay, but Ashtanga Yogi is higher than all of these because he's focusing, he's meditating on Paramatma, right? Why? To develop that inner happiness. When the soul connects with Paramatma, it gets that inner spiritual happiness, right? So that's why all these three are lower compared to Ashtanga Yogi. That's why Krishna is telling Arjuna, now you try to be a Ashtanga Yogi. Okay, so 47. Yogi Nam api sarvesham. So now this is the conclusion of everything Krishna is trying to tell Arjuna. In the last shloka, this is Yogi Nam api sarvesham madgatenantaratmana Shraddhavan bhajate yo mam same yukta tamo mataha. And of all the yogis, the one with great faith, who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me, he is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. That is my opinion. So now this verse is Krishna's final conclusion of the entire chapter. So, after explaining about austerity, tapasya, meditation, discipline, and different yogas, now Krishna is clearly telling who is the best yoga out of all the yogis, who is the best yogi, who is the highest yogi. He's saying not the one who only controls the body. That only tapasvi does controlling of the body, and not the person who only controls the mind. That is a dhyana yogi. Not only who gains knowledge. That is gnani. But who is the highest yogi? Who always thinks of Krishna. So he's saying not a gnani, not a dhyana yogi, not a tapasvi, or not a karma kandi. So who is the highest yogi? Who always, he's a bhakti yogi, who always thinks of Krishna, who keeps Krishna in the heart, serves Krishna with faith and love. Okay, and he lives in a relationship with Krishna. So such a person is called the perfect yogi. So Krishna is telling he is the highest perfect yogi. Okay, why bhakti is above all the yogas? See, because other yogas are steps leading to bhakti. See, for example, bhakti is the final destination. See, karma yoga, when you practice karma yoga, it purifies your action. Karma means work. So it purifies whatever work you are doing. Gnana yoga means it purifies your understanding of knowledge. That purifies knowledge. So that is Gnana Yoga. Dhyana or Ashtanga Yoga, it purifies your mind. Bhakti Yoga means it purifies the heart and awakens love for Krishna. Okay. So the highest yogi is not the one who gives up the world. See, generally we think that the sannyasi or yogi who leaves duties and responsibilities, who goes into the forest, who renounces, he is not the highest yogi. But the one who connects everything with Krishna, living in this world with love and faith. So stay in this world, use everything that is there, that is created by Krishna, for the service of Krishna in love and faith. So that is why ISKCON, it emphasizes like on chanting, hearing, remembering, and serving. So it does not focus more on austerity or on sleeping, eating. I mean, like we give, but we don't focus only on bodily needs, right? We give more importance to the soul because we are the soul, and the soul, when it connects with the body, we can do devotional service to Krishna. So that is why we have to maintain the body. Otherwise, we understand that we are the soul, we are separate from body. Okay, and that's why we don't do all these austerities and mechanical meditation like Ashtanga yoga or Gnana yoga, or all these we don't do. We directly take to Bhakti yoga because we know that is the final destination. All these other yogis, they finally have to come to Bhakti yoga. So why not be intelligent and take up to the practice of Bhakti yoga in the beginning itself. Okay. So Krishna is telling that is my opinion. Okay, 6.45. Yeah. So we finish this. So Hare Krishna, we'll stop here with this chapter for today.